Hoosiers helping Hoosiers across central Indiana. These are our friends and neighbors on 95.5 WFMS.
Good Sunday morning to you. Steve Stewart here with another edition of the WFMS Friends and Neighbors Community Program. And joining me this morning is Brent Burris. He's the Vice President from Blue Angel Connect. And Brent, good morning to you, man. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Blue Angel Connect. I mean, what's your mission statement? Kind of fill us in about who you are and what you do.
Well, Blue Angel Connect was actually started back in 2016 by my then 11-year-old daughter, Nicole. I was still a police officer at that time, hadn't retired yet, and she wanted to change the perception of the way people viewed police officers in the county. And so we started this mission or this organization, and we came up with a program that we do every year at Christmas, which is kind of our annual thing. And we, as police officers, delivered presents to deserving families in Hancock and Henry County. Again, we wanted to just show, people that police just didn't always write tickets and take people to jail.
Right.
We were part of the community, and we like to help out the community too. So we started doing this thing, and again, that was all started by my daughter.
Okay, now you said a lot in that statement right there. Let's break it down just a tad bit here. So you said your 11-year-old daughter, your then 11-year-old daughter, Nicole, actually had the idea for Blue Angel Connect, and that's because she wanted to pretty much just change the perception of the way, law enforcement was viewed in the community, right? Because it's like you said. I mean, and a lot of people don't get this. Police officers do a lot more than just enforcing laws and giving out tickets. So that's kind of how it got started, right?
That's correct. And like I said, we wanted to show people that we do other things in the community besides just doing those things. So, yeah, we started working with deserving families in the county, and we'd surprise them on Christmas. What was really cool is they had no idea we were actually coming. It was all a big surprise when the police cars showed up in front of their house.
Yeah. And where are you located?
We are located out of McCordsville.
And then the communities that Blue Angel Connect targets, what are those?
Right now, we just serve Hancock and Henry County.
Okay, that's currently, and that could change. And told us a story there about your daughter getting things started. And you mentioned your annual Holiday Hope Christmas program. That's what you're best known for, right?
Correct. We've been doing that every single year, and that's, again, how the organization got started. And we would get names from different organizations within our community, whether they be the school corporations, towns, churches, whatever. They would submit names to us for families who could use a little help during Christmas time. Mm-hmm. And we would take those names and kind of go through and see all the families that we could help. Again, it depended on how many donations we got throughout the year, because this program was totally funded on donations we received throughout the year. So the more donations we received, the more families we could help. And for the first several years, like I said, we'd show up to people's houses with police cars. Some of them would get pretty freaked out when they saw 3 or 4 police cars with red lights pull up in their driveway. They didn't know what was going on until they saw Santa Claus get out. Then they kind of, felt a little bit better. And then we started pulling presents out of the car. So that was an awesome program we did. And then after I retired several years ago and the pandemic started, we started hosting this same event at the Buck Creek Fire Station out in Greenfield. So we'd have the event where the families would come there. They'd get to meet Santa Claus, and we'd give their presents to them at this event. And that's how we've been doing it for the last several years.
Okay, and how would a family get involved, or do they need to sign up for the program to the Holiday Hope Christmas program there at Buck Creek Fire Department, or how does that work?
So what we usually do is we'll have come sometime about the 1st of November. We have an application that people can go to on our website and download it, fill it out, and send it back to us. That's one way. A lot of times the families, if they have children in school, they'll notify the school counselors, and those counselors will contact us and say they have a family that needs help. So several ways they can reach out to us.
Okay, again, I'm speaking with Brent Burris. He's the Vice President of Blue Angel Connect. And I want to point out real quick that everything Brent and I are talking about this morning, you can find at their website. And that website is blueangelconnect.org. So anything you hear us chatting about this morning, if you need more information, just hit that website, blueangelconnect.org, and you will get all the info you need. Now, we talked about that Holiday Hope Christmas program. That's your big one every year, but you do other things throughout the community as well. Pick a couple things and just share those with us, if you would, Brent.
Well, we've also done a chili cook-off to help some organizations here in town. That turned out pretty well. It was our first annual chili cook-off we did. We also revitalized the Sheriff Grass Memorial that is actually out in Shirley, Indiana, out in Hancock County. The memorial for the sheriff who got shot in the line of duty. The memorial he had there was kind of looking a little ragged, so we got donations from the community, and our group actually went out there and redid that whole memorial for him to get it looking nice and kind of up to date and stuff. So there's a lot of things we do, and trying to get involved in more things in the community as well.
And Brent, I noticed an event you had, the Camp with the Canines. Tell us about that.
Oh, that was a very cool event too. We actually had a camping event for the weekend at the Indianapolis KOA in Greenfield, and people got to come in, and we escorted them to their sites in the police cars with red lights on. We did a event on Saturday that weekend where we gave a demonstration of how the police dogs work. We actually had people dressed up in the bite suit, and we showed how the police dogs apprehend somebody out of a car or chase somebody and take them down. People got a big kick out of that, and they like to see that. And that all went for supporting the canines at the Shirley Police Department.
Right on, right on. And again, the mission statement of Blue Angel Connect: work with public service agencies and other local organizations to provide services and needs to the community. And Brent, when it comes to accomplishing that mission or, meeting your goals, it takes a couple things. I mean, it takes volunteers and it takes money. So let's talk volunteers first. If someone's listening today and they're out in the Hancock County, Henry County area, and they want to volunteer to help out, how would they go about doing that?
Well, we are always looking for volunteers who've got, other talents that we may be missing to come to our organization. We have a very good group of volunteers on our board that work for us now, but we're always looking for more ideas and some more help. Definitely reach out to us for our website, contact us, and we would love to talk to you about something like that.
Okay, and again, what's that website?
It's blueangelconnect.org.
And remember that website, because we talked a little bit there about volunteer opportunities and how Blue Angel Connect can always use fresh ideas, new faces, this and that. So volunteers, very important. But again, money and funds are also important. So again, Brent, the website, the place someone would go if they're listening this morning and thinking, hey, I want to help out this Christmas, I want to donate some money, just go to the website, right?
Correct, yeah. Just again, it's blueangelconnect.org. There's actually a tab at the top of the page called Donations. You can actually click on that. There's a QR code there. You can select the amount of donation you'd like to give to us. No donation is ever too small. Again, the Holiday Hope program that we do every year is completely funded by those donations that we receive throughout the year. So the more donations we receive, the more families we can help at Christmas time.
Right. And you mentioned that there were some fundraisers that you put together to help raise money for those families as well. And I tell you what, you've got a pretty cool fundraiser coming up. Tell us a little bit about Dinner with Chips.
This is so exciting. I'm so excited to talk about it. We actually have Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox from the 1970s, 1980s television show Chips coming here to Indianapolis in October to help us with our fundraiser for Holiday Hope. It's a 2-night event. On Friday night, October the 20th, they're actually going to be at the Sheraton at the Keystone Crossing Mall in Indianapolis. We're doing an autograph event. So you'll be able to come there. You can bring memorabilia for them to sign. They'll have headshots they can sign. We'll have a photographer on site that can take your picture with the guys. That's from 5 to 10 o'clock, again, on Friday night, October the 20th. We also have one of the Chips bikes there as well. So you'll be able to take a picture in front of the bike if you want. So that's really cool.
Okay, that's Friday, October 20th, and you're talking John and Punch from Chips, right?
Correct. Yep. The stars of the show.
Larry Wilcox and Eric Estrada going to be in town for this fundraiser. 2-night event. Now, we're only on night number 1. Again, Chips, the TV show, it aired for 6 seasons from 1977 to 1983. And the first night, like you said, is kind of a autograph opportunity with Larry Wilcox and Eric Estrada. That's going to be Friday, October 20th, the Sheraton Hotel at Keystone at the Crossing. What time does it get started, Brent?
It gets started at 5 o'clock, and it's going to run until 10.
And ticket info.
Tickets are still on sale at our website. Again, if you go to blueangelconnect.org, click on the tab at the top that says More. When you click on that, it'll drop down a tab that says Chips, and all the information is there for the event on Friday night.
Okay, very cool. Let's head to the next night. Saturday, October 21st. You've got a dinner going on there in Greenfield, correct?
Correct, and that's even more of an exciting night. They're actually going to be here for a dinner at the Bradley Hall in Greenfield. It's downtown Greenfield, actually. The dinner is going to be from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. We have a cocktail hour, then we're going to have a sit-down dinner, and then a question and answer session with them as well. So very exciting night.
And the dinner with Chips, they're in Greenfield. What time does that start?
That gets started again at 5 o'clock. It's a cocktail hour from 5 to 6, and then we'll start dinner at 6. Listen to a little music. There's going to be a band there called Three of Heart. We'll be playing a little music for us, a little dinner music. And then probably about 8 o'clock, we'll have a question and answer session. And I know a lot of people look forward to this because everybody's got questions about the show of what happened, why they did this, how did they do this, and they're going to be there to answer all those questions.
And tickets at the website, right?
Correct. Actually, tickets were going to go off sale the first of this month, but we had such a big calling for them that we extended that. So we're going to run that until the end of September, but the tickets are going fast. So I'm saying if you want tickets, you need to go on our website and get them now.
Head that way, blueangelconnect.org. Let's rehash this real quick. Again, this is an opportunity both evenings for you to hang out and mingle with John and Ponch, Larry Wilcox and Eric Estrada, the stars of the TV show Chips, which aired for 6 seasons from 1977 to 1983. First of all, it's 2 nights. Now, can you get tickets? Say you're like, oh, man, I want to go. I'm only available Saturday. Can you get tickets just for Saturday?
Yes, you can. They're 2 separate events, and actually on the page on the website, there's 2 different QR codes that you can click on. One is for one's for the autograph show, or one's for the dinner. You can pick one, you can pick both, but we would love to see you at both if you can make it.
Absolutely, and if you want autographs, it's the first night dinner, chance to mingle with them, Q&A, live band dinner is the second night. So again, Friday, October 20th, going to be at the Sheraton Hotel at Keystone at the Crossing. It's a photo op, autograph with the stars of Chips, John and Ponch, Larry Wilcox, and Eric Estrada. Get started at 5 p.m. Tickets available at the website, blueangelconnect.org. And then the next night, Saturday, October 21st, there's going to be a dinner with Chips at Bradley Hall in Greenfield. That's going to get started at 5 p.m. Going to have a cocktail hour, give you an opportunity to mingle with the TV stars, Larry Wilcox and Eric Estrada. Tickets available, again, at blueangelconnect.org. The money raised all goes to Blue Angel Connect and their Holiday Hope fundraiser. And the website, everything Brent and I have been talking about this morning, just go to blueangelconnect.org. Again, my guest this morning has been Brent Burris, the vice president from Blue Angel Connect. And Brent, thank you so much for the time. Keep up the good work, and hope you have a couple big nights on October 20th and the 21st.
We are so looking forward to it, and I can't thank you enough for giving us the time to talk about this event, and we hope to see you all there.
Hoosiers helping Hoosiers across Central Indiana. Find more information about how we can support your charitable organization or promote an upcoming event at WFMS.com.
These are our friends and neighbors on 95.5 WFMS.
95.5 WFMS, our Friends and Neighbors program today is talking about something I'm very passionate about, and that is helping our veterans. In fact, it's kind of in their name, helping veterans and families. HVAF of Indiana is here. Emmy, you're here with us as the kind of leader, right? The person in charge, the kind of
that's right.
The one that kind of organizes everything. So you got a lot on your plate, and we got a lot to talk about. But first, let's talk about how long you've been with HVAF.
Sure. I've been with HVAF for almost 11 years. So it's been a while. I've been the CEO now for almost 2.
Okay, wow. So as CEO in this role, you probably, the prior roles that you had, it's a little bit more eye-opening to see, the support of the community and see all the numbers and see all that stuff. But let's first talk about how did you enter into this role or into HVAF in general, and what prompted you to do that?
Sure. My whole career has been dedicated to serving veterans and members of the military and their families. So when I was still in college at DePauw, I did an internship in the County Veterans Affairs Office in my home county, which is Putnam County. And those are really the front lines of serving veterans. So these are men and women. There's usually just one per county. They work in the courthouse and they help with disability claims and getting veterans connected to health care and other benefits. And it was really neat to be able to make an impact like that and help men and women who deserve it so much. So the county service officer said, hey, if you like this, you should apply for an internship in Senator Lugar's office because you could do this statewide. So I did that. In my senior year at DePauw, I interned for Senator Lugar, and I was fortunate to be hired where I worked for 10 years, doing all of his military and veterans affairs stuff here in the state of Indiana. When he retired in 2012, I started just talking with different groups that I had been working with. Really didn't know what I wanted to do. So one of those groups was HVAF, and they were hoping to get someone on staff who could help with public policy and advocacy with government. So I was able to take my government experience and my passion for serving veterans and keep doing it at HVAF. So I've been there, like I said, 11 years, and it's been great to be able to serve men and women who deserve it, to work with a great team and make a big impact in our community.
Yeah, the veteran side of things, just in general, is something I'm passionate about because it takes a special individual to not only sign up, but serve for a country of people they'll never meet, putting their life on the line or whatever their role is. It's very heroic, for lack of a better term. That doesn't sound cliche. It really is.
Yes.
And whether it be veterans of Vietnam who didn't have a choice, right? They were told you're going, or, Desert Storm or whatever. These veterans are absolutely people that we should be celebrating and helping. So let's talk about that first H in HVAF. How are we helping veterans with your organization?
Sure. So first I would just back up and say, I think you're absolutely right. Since 1973, there's been no draft. So our military and our veterans are made up of men and women who volunteer to do whatever is required on our behalf. And there are not many people who sign up to serve. So I feel just like you that when someone does step out and take that oath to serve our country, when they fall on hard times, we need to be here to help them out. So that's what we're doing at HVAF. We offer housing assistance in a variety of ways, basic needs support through our food, clothing, and hygiene pantry, employment assistance, and legal assistance as well. Because, we feel that, when a veteran falls into homelessness, it's kind of like a snowball. A lot of things compound to make their situation even worse. So we want to bring as many services around these men and women as we can to make sure that they can be self-sufficient on the other side of our assistance.
Yeah. I've had the opportunity to tour and see what it's about. And just starting at the food pantry side of things, tell me about this, because this is really unique in how you try to not only support, but you try to make the veterans feel empowered with getting the things that they need.
Sure. So it's pretty shocking to know that people on active duty have a really high risk of food insecurity, and veterans do as well, much more than the general population. And what we've seen so far this year is that with all the inflation and rising costs of food, that's impacting people who are close to that poverty line in a pretty significant way. So we've seen a huge need in our food pantry this year for veterans who just need food assistance just to get by. So we remodeled our pantry a few years ago to be focused on exactly what you just said, treating veterans with dignity and respect. We don't want veterans to feel like they have to come to HVAF. We want them to want to come to HVAF because we value them and we treat them with honor and dignity. So, veterans can come in our pantry. It's all staffed by volunteers, which is neat. They get checked in and then they're guided through the shopping experience with a volunteer one-on-one. They're able to choose the food items that they'd like, the hygiene products that they want, just like you and I do when we go to the store. I never go to the store and say, I need a t-shirt, and someone shows up and I just take what I get. I think that would be humiliating. And we never want to make veterans do that too. So they get to shop through all of our clothes and all of our food and choose what they'd like to eat or what they'd like to wear, all with a volunteer who appreciates their service too.
Yeah, I think it's just a really cool mindset. And I'm sure from their perspective, they're completely, appreciative and grateful for the opportunity to get the things that they need. And let's talk about that, because you talk about the helping with the job aspect of it. And we know that there's a lot of great companies here in Central Indiana who are supporting veterans and saying, yes, we want to hire veterans. But for these veterans, maybe they don't have the clothing that's necessary to go into a job interview. This is something where HVAF is also helping, right?
Yes, absolutely. We have an entire basement full of what I would call professional wear, various suits and shoes and ties and all of that would be perfect for a job interview or even an ongoing job. And we often kind of close that area for our employment team to take a veteran down and choose the items that they'd like to make the best impression at their interview with.
Yeah, I think it's so great. And I have got a mentality too that you look good, you feel good.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think when someone is experiencing homelessness, they kind of beat themselves up a lot, right? Like they've lost all their relationship with their friends and family, and they're kind of going it alone. And I think that just compounds that sort of I'm a worthless person feeling. And so we really want to combat that with the clothes, with the way we treat people, and just making sure that when veterans leave HVAF, they know that they're valued, they're appreciated, and like they deserve a great life.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking with Emmy from HVAF of Indiana, helping veterans and families. And, this organization, like we talked about, helps on a daily basis for these needs, but also looking at helping continue education and get them training. Tell me a little bit about how you're doing this within the facility even.
Sure. We have two tracks for our employment team. So we have an employment services team that works with veterans who are interested in getting a job right now. So that's focused on, resume writing, interview skills, and job searching and getting placed into employment. But we also have another track that's really kind of a professional development track. So we're really fortunate to be a recipient of the Lilly Endowment Enhancing Opportunity Grant, which is a 5-year grant to help reduce poverty here in Marion County. So veterans are able to go through this 3-phase program. The first phase is an internship, and that's either at HVAF or with our partner Downtown Indy. So at HVAF, they're partnered with our front desk team or our maintenance team or our IT team, and the whole goal is to learn soft skills. So we're talking about people who may have been out of the workforce for a while. So this gives them a chance to kind of, have a schedule and learn to work with others and take instruction without being a regular job. The second phase is all about building hard skills. So we partner with people who can do on-the-job training, apprenticeship, maybe it's finish a degree or earn a certificate, something that will distinguish them in today's labor market. And then the third phase is all about getting a job, pays $18 an hour or more with benefits, because studies show that is enough to move someone out of poverty.
That's amazing. You think about these men and women who are serving our country. They're in uniform. They're with their family, their battalion or whoever, whatever their role is, right? And then transitioning from that role and trying to come back into civilian life and go into the workforce that way. It is kind of, in a way, culture shock, right?
It is. Just the transition from military life to civilian life is culture shock for many. You go from a place where someone told you where to be and what to wear and how to cut your hair to a place where there's no one telling you how to do those things. And for a lot of people, that's a huge shock. And what we know in our line of work is that, that's a difficult time for veterans. We know that veterans are much more likely to be homeless than non-veterans. They're much more likely to struggle with a mental health issue or substance use. And so we are trying very hard at HVAF to meet veterans where they are and address all of those things so they can have the life they deserve.
Yeah. And speaking of having that life that they deserve, having their own place to live, also very important. And there's a couple, cool avenues that we can take to talk about this, but let's just talk about as a broad umbrella, what ways does HVAF help our veterans get back on their own in their own living situation?
Sure. So we have a variety of housing options, as I mentioned. One of our larger programs is a transitional housing program. This is for veterans who need a little bit more support to address some of those barriers to permanent housing. So we operate 121 transitional housing beds here in central Indiana, where veterans can move in. They're immediately paired with a case manager, linked with physical and mental health care resources, employment services, legal services, and giving kind of daily support to address all of those barriers to permanent housing with the goal of moving to permanent housing within 6 or so months. We serve about 400 veterans a year in that program. We also have a really robust rapid rehousing program, which looks like a rental assistance program. So we can work with veterans and families who are currently homeless or at risk of eviction and stabilize them in an apartment out in the community. So we can usually do things like security deposits, utility assistance, and rent for a short term. It also comes with case management, because that's really the secret to all of our services. Is it's not just throwing money at the problem; it's bringing along a professional who knows how to work with this population and help them, stabilize in their home. Then the third program we have is permanent supportive housing. And this is the most intensive intervention for veterans who may need lifelong support to maintain their housing. So we're fortunate to operate 62 units of permanent housing where we're a landlord. Veterans sign a lease, so they're a tenant. They're not a client, they're a tenant. And we, through various engagement strategies, connect with them to offer supportive services. We have on-site case management. We have a peer mentor who engages to address, substance use and just sort of daily living things that people need support with. And we just opened a new building in the fall called Proctor Place, which is on Central State on the near west side. It's named after Indiana National Guardsman Sergeant Joey Proctor, who was killed in Iraq in 2006. So we're really honored to be serving veterans in his name. He died serving his fellow soldiers. So it's really meaningful for us to continue that service in his name.
Yeah, it's incredible. The work that you all do and the passion that everybody has to help out. And I believe that there are some veterans that are actually on staff that are wanting to give back. And so let's talk about that aspect of it. I'm going to jump around a little bit, but let's say that we have somebody here that is listening and saying, you know what, I really want to help out because I'm hearing Emmy with HVAF of Indiana talk about all the support that they're giving. I can support too. How do you take volunteers?
We have a really big volunteer program, and we are always looking for people who want to connect and come alongside us and support the mission. So our food and clothing pantries are solely staffed by volunteers every Tuesday and Thursday. You don't have to come every week, but if you want to, that's even better. Gives you a chance to build relationships with the people that we serve. We also work with different corporate groups, church groups, civic groups who want to come in and do painting or flower planting. So anyone that's interested in being a volunteer can just reach out. Our phone number is 317-951-0688, and we can get connected and get you on board.
I think that's amazing. And let's wrap up here by talking about one other avenue of support. Yes, we see a veteran, we see their hat that they're wearing, we shake their hand, we say, thank you for your service, we appreciate you. But sometimes we want to be able to do more, but don't have the time to volunteer. How else can we support financially, maybe?
You can give online at our website, hvaf.org. We have annual fundraisers and events. So, check our website, see what's coming up, and get connected.
I think it's amazing that, there's so many people that are caring and giving and helping these veterans because they've helped us. They give us the opportunity to go to our concerts. They give us the opportunity to go home after work and, lay the kids down and have a good meal and all this stuff that we do in our casual everyday life. It's about time that we help them and get them back on track to where they need to be, to where they're thriving to. So, Emmy, thank you for your work that you do.
Thank you for your support and your passion. I heard when you came that you really enjoyed what you were a part of. So thank you for helping us spread the word. Our veterans deserve all of the support that we can give them, just as you said. And sometimes just a thanks isn't enough, but it's a start. So we appreciate everybody who can come alongside us and help end veteran homelessness here in Central Indiana.
It's something we got to do. We got to help these folks out because they helped us, like I said. So Emmy, again, with HVAF of Indiana, helping veterans and families, and that is our Friends and Neighbors program for today. 95.5 WFMS, the veteran station. How about that?
I like it.
Get in touch and tell us about your charitable organization or upcoming event at WFMS.com.
This has been a Friends and Neighbors Community Show. Thanks for listening.